Yo, live match reaction. I think I'll know in about 5 seconds when I see it on my other computer. But if we are, BIKRAM 6-2. But like only Inter can win 6-2 and make it not feel like 6-2 until it's like the 86th minute. Would you happen to agree?
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it was 6-2. It's crazy. I mean, after that first half, I mean, we were all seething about Vidal, and all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, we're up 6-2. It's pretty crazy. But that's Inter.
The,
That's Inter.
that's it, bro. The Vidal thing was something else, man. And like I got a little bit heated, bro. But I can't have these sort of mistakes, bro. Like Conte brought him in for a reason, yeah. He brought him in so that he could be that sort of professional that would be so mistake-free. He'd be able to patch the cracks over Gagliardini, over your Vecinos, over your everybody else's for however long he's here. But it seems he's just been more problems than pleasure, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I always have a problem when coaches sign players that they worked with in the past, and they're just hoping to, fill in the blank that they've had previously. But I mean, that was like 5 years ago when they worked together. And I just watch Vidal. I mean, look, there's reckless aspects, but he's also off the pace, and that's the thing. And I see Brozovic is Barella. I mean, he's a machine. Obviously, we know that, but Brozovic as well is working extra bit, and then Vidal is not. He's not really working for anyone else, and then he tries to make it up and he's just clumsy. So, but after that Real Madrid game, I almost didn't forgive him. But today it didn't cost us, obviously. But you got to start putting question marks next to him.
100%, man, 100%. The fact that he got taken off at halftime, bro, it was like a real big bitch slap in the face, in my opinion, man. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts from that because Conte's probably the one coach in the world that he wouldn't just come out and give attitude to. So, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting, eh?
Yeah, I mean, look, I get the feeling with Conte, he'll play Vidal as much as possible to prove that he was a successful signing. And so, as you say, for him to be subbed off, that's pretty big. But Sensi. We know we need to get Sensi in. If he's fit, he's a top player. So, hopefully there's more of him to come.
100%, bro. Sensi's he's a definite starter. Like if he's fit, man. Look at the way he changed the game when he came on. It was just a little bit of here, a little bit of there. He doesn't necessarily stick to one side of midfield as well. He can pick the ball up anywhere in midfield from the left to the right hand side. Sal says, let's go. I woke up to a 4-2 game in America. Good for you, man. I know plenty of my American friends who, were making it well known that they were up at 3:30 or 4:30 today. Well done, bro. I wonder what that's like. Bro, I hope Lukaku is not injured. I think it was more fatigue, like strategic as well, because you could see him talking to the bench just before, and he kind of just goes like this and he falls to the ground. I really think we thought we had the result wrapped up, and I think it was 4-2 at that point. So we still had 2 goals to go after that. But BIKRAM, I was a little nervous even at 4-2 when Lukaku came off around about the 74th minute. And then even when Kolarov came on, I'm like, shit, I still don't feel safe. Did you feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, luckily, we scored pretty soon after. But yeah, I mean, it's like we haven't had to think about Kolarov. It feels like ages ago when we were worried about Kolarov starting all the time and, conceding goals for fun. And then, with Bastoni there, we've just been pretty lucky. But yeah, I think, today I thought in the second half, though, it was almost like a training game. I think we just had it under control in reality. But yeah, you never know with us, obviously.
Yeah, 100%, man. Who's your man of the match?
Yeah, look, I'm going to give it to Lukaku, mainly because I haven't actually given him a lot of man of the matches, but yeah, I'll give him this one.
100%, 100%. Speaking of players who are on form, gang business, Raul.
Gang business.
Sharma, what are you saying after that, bro? What a way for you to wake up. You feeling fresh? Are you ready to take on the day or what?
Yeah, man, I'm ready to go. 6-2, like this is crazy. 40 goals already this season in the Serie A, man. If you're calling Antonio Conte defensive coach.
I love it, man. I love it. Juliana says, "Let's go. Let's grab this Scudetto, bro." We're in the position now where we can't even if and or but about it. We're going for it, and to close it out today, it was really good. Zeal, who was your man of the match, bro?
Man, it was Lukaku until when you get a hat trick, it has to be Lautaro. Like you can't give it to anyone else when you get a hat trick. But otherwise, yeah, it was Lukaku because even though he only had 1 goal, like his back to goal play now, it's just world class now. It's like there's no doubts. The improvement in this guy is just yeah, and that's credit to Conte as well. Like he said in the interview that Conte forced him in training to play with like Ranocchia. Like the first few months, he said he put Ranocchia on him in training every single day, back to goal. And he said, as soon as I lose the ball, we would restart the drill once again. So that's the work that you put in the training session. So shout outs to those guys, man.
Oh man, today it was like, watching someone bully people 3 or 4 years younger than you in the schoolyard. It was ridiculous every time he was turning someone today. But that's what you want to see. And like he's performing, and he's performing at an athletic, physical level that even his previous haters must be looking at now and going, holy shit, this isn't even a guy we can even banter. This is a creme of the crop sort of player. And I just love that he's on our side. And I said in my stream today, I'm like, whether vintage fans are willing to admit it or not, this guy is the second coming of Adriano, in my opinion. Like so many of those attributes and the strength and the power and the pace and tenacity, I'm just keep getting Adriano vibes from him all the time. And I actually think he's just a little bit more athletic because he's going to take care of himself a lot more. So
without the alcohol, yeah.
Go figure, man. Go figure. BIKRAM, what did you think of us in the first half, man? Was it like your typical Inter first half this season? They slow to start, concede a really soft goal, even though the warning signs were there, all that fun stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's just standard every first half. I mean, first half's been a problem the whole season. But, I think even in the last few games, you can tell that we're trying to start quicker, but we let them in. Crotone could have scored 2 or 3 times before they actually did score. And then obviously the penalty, it was the big talking point. I mean, that was just, as we've touched on already, I mean, it was just clumsiness. But, look, we don't need to create that many chances. But when we do, the Lukaku and Lautaro partnership is just, it's unbelievable. They just need 2 or 3 goes and we're back in the game. But, the key was really the change from Vidal to Sensi. And I think that was what made the difference in the end. But there's probably more to it than that. It's because we've had multiple different starting lineups and we still struggle in the first half. So, it's probably not just personnel. There's probably a little bit more to it. But, I think we think maybe as a team, we just think that, we can just ease into games. But nowadays, even though the team's mid-table, bottom of the table, they know how to play. And you can't just afford to take it easy.
For sure. Nix Knox, great name, says Vidal showing his experience, I hear. Zil, what did you think of Vidal today? What was your reaction to the penalty, man? Were you like, my God, how could you do it again? Like, what did you think, man? And then go into what did you think of Sensi when he came on?
The thing is, I was having someone on my Twitter reply to me saying that, he prefers Gagliardini over Vidal. And just before the penalty, I said, like, nah, man, I'd rather have Vidal all my life over Gagliardini. And then he goes and does that. Like, makes me look like an absolute idiot. Like, yeah, the experience thing, I tweeted it out. Like, I've made like a little thread of all of Vidal and Kolarov's mistakes this season. And yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like, this experience that Antonio Conte wanted. And it's clearly not paying off. Like, it's the gift that keeps on giving. How much did you abuse him on the live stream?
So viewers on the live stream at the moment, we've got 15 people tuning in, which is actually quite nice, man. So thanks to everybody. Nice. In the previous one, I haven't really looked at yet. But yeah, hopefully.
No, I was saying, how much did you abuse Vidal on the live stream?
Oh, in the live stream, I thought you said views, not abuse. Abuse. Oh, dude, it wasn't pretty. I wasn't happy at all. I had to like complain. I wasn't swearing, but just like all that childish stuff, man. I can't forgive stuff like that because it was so mistimed. It was so late, and I'm like, you're not 17, bro. You're not 19. You can't go and teach you or tell you at halftime, oh, we don't do that here. So you're 33, bro. You played
it's the exact same thing he did against Gladbach as well. That's the thing. It's like the exact same thing. God. And then like, did you hear Conte saying because he kept complaining to the referee and he said, stop complaining and just play. Like he just and then
What do you think of him being subbed off at half time, man? Because that's like there's a little bit to speak about that. Conte taking him out at 45 minutes. Yeah, what do you reckon?
A Conte soldier as well. Like, Conte loves him, and I'm happy that he's able to show that no bullshit approach to one of his favorites as well. So it was needed. And we saw Sensi. He wasn't amazing today, Sensi, but he was an improvement on Vidal. So yeah, it was needed. I'm glad he did that.
Yeah, absolutely. BIKRAM, going into our game against Sampdoria, man, obviously we've got to expect 3 points there because we've just momentarily moved above AC Milan, who do they play on this, what is a very, very entertaining match day that keeps going over the next 6 hours, BIKRAM? You want to stay awake, man? You're going to stay awake until Monday? Or do you have work?
I got work. I always push my work times a bit later when Inter's playing. So I could probably actually watch them. I happen to wake up and it's always the last 20 minutes of a Milan game and they're behind or drawing and then they manage to win the game. It's the worst way to go to work. But yeah, look, I've been saying it all year or all season. I'm just waiting for Milan to collapse. I haven't really looked at them as a threat, especially with Pioli as manager. He's very, like, he did a good job obviously at the start with us, but then, you know, we collapsed and I'm waiting for that to happen with Milan. But it hasn't happened and they've had injuries and they've still been able to counter. So certainly, you know, but I think for us, we just have to focus on our own work. It's not as if we're playing exceptional football that we can just, you know, watch other teams fail around us. We just need to focus on ourselves. Sampdoria is a tough game away. I mean, away, home, what does that mean these days? I don't know. But especially leading into a couple of big games, Roma, Fiorentina. So Lukaku, as you said, whether he's injured or not, do we play him again? You know, do we start to look at trying to rest players? I mean, you look at the way Barella's playing. I mean, you know, when towards the end of the year, he was looking a little bit tired as well. So you got to make sure that you keep these players fresh. And you know, if we're losing, you know, Nainggolan, who didn't do much obviously, but Eric said we just lose players you can bring off the bench. Even sometimes having those players there, it takes at least the players playing, they know that, you know, if they're tired, that someone can come on. But we're losing those luxuries as well. So, you know, I think there's a little bit of player management which is going to be key this year. Obviously, no Champions League, but you know, still, yeah, even look at the surface that we played on today. It looked pretty heavy as well. So,
yeah, man.
You know, there's a lot of player management that's going to be required, and we haven't really been the best at doing that medically in our club. So.
100%. You talk about resting, you know, you could argue that all we've got is Serie A games, but because of, like, you know, everything that's gone on in the world, the games are a lot more condensed. They're a lot closer together than they would be in a regular calendar season. You know, this team's got about 3 days before they have to face Sampdoria. But now, Zio Sharma is a real opportunity to start to form a little bit of momentum and maybe just form a little bit of a gap, man, because looking at these fixtures, man, Juventus and Milan play each other, not this match day, the next match day. If one of them was to fail to get 3 points on this particular match day over the next 6 hours, which I'm definitely staying awake for, then one of them's geared up to drop points over 2 weeks. So this is looking at this calendar, we're about to enter a little bit of an opportunistic period over the next, well, we've done our bit for 50%. We did our bit for Crotone. Now we've got to do our bit against Sampdoria, because I know after that, it gets really tricky for us in Roma, Juventus.
Yeah, man. No, it's you just have to keep going as we are now. Hopefully, in past seasons, after a big result, I remember like when Inter have a big winning results, the players usually kind of slack off. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But I'm sure Conte won't let that happen. And yeah, I'm praying for a draw in the AC Milan Juventus match. I don't really care who wins that or not. Yeah, as BIKRAM said, like, I think AC Milan will have a drop off at some point. They can't keep going at this crazy pace. So we have to make sure that we're there to pick up the pieces when they finally have a drop off at some point. You know, they can't surely, like, you know, salad maker Calabria. These guys can't keep going.
Oh man, yeah, I agree, bro. But we'll see what happens. Benevento. Dude, if Simone Inzaghi's going to give him a goal in stoppage time, imagine what people's going to do, bro.
the goalkeeper scoring again.
The goalkeeper scoring again, bro. I remember that, man. Better times for us. What else? Who else performed today? What about Brozovic? Very sluggish. Like, sometimes he just looks like he's not trying, man. Like he's just rocking up just to be there. First of all, Torquia 15 from Florence. Thank you very much. Thank you. I always like seeing other people from other places. That's the worldwide feel. That's what we want. What was I saying? Yeah, Brozovic, sluggish as BIKRAM. You first. What did you think, bro? Does he look a little bit CBF, like he doesn't want to be there?
I reckon with Brozovic, I mean, if you try to read him with his body language, you're just going to think he doesn't care at all. But if you actually look at it, you know, he's still positionally, he's such a key player for us. Yeah, I think he runs the tempo of our side, and I thought the key was actually when, as you say, Sensi, when he came on, Sensi, it's not like Sensi, was brilliant or anything like that, but just the pressure that he takes off Brozovic as well, just having another guy who's able to dictate the play as well. And then, we saw, look, Brozovic, there was good and bad with him today, obviously, as always, but it just, when he has a bit more freedom and he's got a bit more go forward, I mean, if you take away the flailing of the arms and the looking like he's frustrated all the time, his overall game is key to us, and I think you sometimes just have to let him go a little bit, because going forward, he's still key to us, and the game still revolves around him. We don't have any other player who's going to be prepared to take the ball between the centre backs and just distribute the ball around, and that tempo and that he dictates is still key for us. But he can still play that killer ball. Sometimes if things don't go his way, then he might leave off a little bit of body language. But I think these players all have played with him. They know him. They know his personality. I don't think just because he's frustrated that they're going to get flustered by him either. So I'm still a fan.
Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. I'm waiting for the highlights to be posted. But was Vidal really that bad? Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes. Check it out for yourself. We'll swing this one over to Uncle Sharma. Luxurious Home Listings. Awesome name, whoever you are. Big up your business. All the best in prosperity for the new year.
What's his website?
I have no idea, but that's a real given name, so I'm sure it won't be hard to track down. So if you need a home listing, contact whoever they are. Please play Damian at left wing back. I'd rather take a chance on Kolarov over Young. Young was really bad today, unfortunately, and I like Ashley Young because I like professional footballers who always are giving their best for their manager, and they still pack like a 6 or a 6.5 out of 10 most of the time in their performances, and they've still got that ability until they retire. And Ashley Young is one of those players, but he's not a defender by nature. He's been a winger, or at the very least, like just a left or right midfielder for majority of his career. And he was exposed today big time, but at the same time, we were very much clustered towards the right-hand side, especially in the first half. We left Ashley Young hung out to dry on that left-hand side. But he was disappointing, and it should have showed again that he doesn't have that defensive awareness. And I would agree that Damian probably can play left wing back over him. What do you reckon, Raul?
Yeah, man, that left wing back position is the priority for me. It doesn't look like it's priority. It seems like Conte is happy to make do there at the moment. But for me, that's like Perisic hasn't quite worked out there. Young has been a liability. Like again, as you said today he got saved by Vidal today in the first half because he was stinking up the pitch as well. So definitely, I would rather play Damian there. But I guess Damian needs to be, there for in case when Hakimi needs to be rested and stuff. But yeah, I would rather see. We saw in the second half when he came on, Damian. I think he was much better than Young. He created the goal for Hakimi, didn't he? I think he had the assist for that one. Yeah. So
it was good to see Hakimi grab that goal at the end, man, because he's starting to learn to play the ball with your feet a little closer than you would in Germany, because they'll be on your ass really quickly here. They'll shut you down quickly. Your pace can only exist in space when it's the Serie A. You can't just run headfirst into gaps here like you can in the Bundesliga. And he's adjusting. He's adjusting. Today you saw him be a little bit clumsy at times, but I'm still really, really psyched that we've got him, boys, because he's such a good player. How many times do you see the ball pushed out to him on the right-hand side and you just blink and we were already 15 yards up the pitch? It's really amazing, man. So I'm all for Hakimi. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have much else to talk about. I'm very, very happy. I feel like I could not sleep and just go all night now with that sort of energy. 6 goals. Can't wait for the highlights to come out. Somebody said that as well. Who said it? Sal. What do you guys think about the possible sale of the club? I think it was all BS, to be honest. I reckon they were trying to fill some headlines before we took the field again. I don't think we're in as much financial trouble as people think. From what I read, there's just laws that have been changed in China where direct sponsors can't work with sporting organizations or something like that. So if that's the case, then you just can't slap your brand name on any jerseys and stuff like that. And when you do the paperwork, you use a different name, like, something B Incorporated, Suning B, I don't know, whatever it is. You just change the trademark. Like, Raul, what do you think about it first?
Yeah, no, I made a little quick video on it in my last preview. Yeah, I think, as you said, like it was bullshit, but it also makes sense in some way, because if China are putting restrictions on how much you can invest abroad, probably it does make Suning think twice. Like, oh, is this, they can't do what they originally planned with Inter in terms of how much investment they want to put in if the government's blocking. But no, who's gonna buy it, like in the pandemic anyway? Like no one's gonna buy a club right now anyway. So yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Bikram, your thoughts on the potential sale of the club? Where you reckon it was all nothing, bit of nonsense?
Yeah, it was like, I mean, Zhang came and denied it pretty flatly, really. So, I mean, we just go by that. I mean, this is standard media sort of coming up with, rules in China have changed, and let's just add another conclusion to that,
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's no buyers at the moment anyway, even if you wanted to sell a club. Then,
good thing football is back now, so they can continue talking about Ericsson again now.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, it's tomorrow transfer window, so
that's it. I know we placed Sanchez as backup striker, but I'd love to see him back on the left. Hey man, if the thing is like you'd be compromising the all holy 3-5-2 right there, and Sanchez can't play in a 3-5-2 on that left hand side. You'd have to be pushing him up so far. He just can't do it. If Perisic can't do it, he can't have that defensive awareness, unfortunately. Raul, what do you think?
No, yeah, it reminds me of when people were putting like Politano right wing back on when Conte first signed. No, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, but
it's crazy. Even tried Perisic, at left wing back. But
yeah, man.
But he's got better defensive qualities than Sanchez.
I thought it could have worked a couple of years ago when the experiment first started, but it doesn't look like it. But do you
unless he means in the 3-4-2-1, then I guess it makes sense. If he means on the left on the 3-4-2-1, like we did against Verona.
Yeah, true. Sal says, do you think this is affecting the transfers we can make? 100%, because at the moment, like you talk about buying a club, people can't buy a player at the moment. This is going to be the most inactive January winter mercato I've ever seen in any league. There will be big clubs that go this entire transfer market and don't sign a player at all. So I think I don't expect to sign a player at all this January, to be honest. I really don't see anybody coming in. It has to be either Gomez or De Paul. And I just don't see Udinese getting rid of De Paul. So BIKRAM.
We need a De Paul masterclass later, by the way.
100%. 100%. BIKRAM, we'll go with you first. Do you see anything coming in January?
No. I think if we were playing in the Champions League, there's a different story. But playing just in the Serie A, it's hard to justify. And especially if we're not getting cash injection from our transfers, if we're just loaning out players and things like that. I mean, I don't see how we're going to buy a player. So, I'm not expecting anyone to come. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, we're playing pretty well, or winning at least. And there seems to be a decent culture within the players that are playing at least. And just, let it be at the moment, I think.
For sure. And Zio Sharma, do you see anybody coming into Inter in January? Are the Papu Gomez rumors legit or nah?
Yeah, I'm guessing I think we are genuinely interested, because I think Ausilio, Marotta, one of them confirmed that they're taking a look. Marotta's eyes twitching. But I think a striker is definitely going to come in. We have to imagine today Lukaku's come off and we have no one to bring on. So yeah, a striker has to come in, even if it's a low cost option like a Fernando Llorente, Graziano Pelle, I don't know, Mario Mandzukic, any one of these guys. Just someone needs to come in just in case, if God forbid something happens to Lukaku. And then I don't really see much else. If we manage to get rid of Ericsson, which I see unlikely, then a midfielder or a left wing back. But I don't see much activity. I think it's going to be a quiet January for all clubs.
Yeah, me too. The last thing I'll ask Uncle Sharma, if you were to pick out of Cagliari versus Napoli, I'm not watching Fiorentina versus Bologna, Genoa, Lazio, or Roma, Sampdoria, which game are you tuning into, bro?
I think that Roma Sampdoria should be a good match to watch. Roma are a nice team to watch, and Sampdoria decent as well. So that's a good matchup.
All right, cool. I'll pay attention to that game and I'll put the Napoli game on in the background. BIKRAM, thanks for joining me, bro. 6-2. You have a good day. You'll have a good day at work, G. I know you will.
We have to sleep finally.
100%, bro. 100%. Uncle Sharma, Raul, brother, thank you for joining me, man. And thank you for all your help and advice in setting this up, man.
No worries.
All right, from all of us here at Inter Worldwide, anytime we have 1-6-2, 3 points. All is well that ends well.